And we are live, and Tom did give a little howl. He's very happy.
Ow!
His
Wolf down
tummy
the
is
food.
happy. So thank you everybody for hanging out and waiting for us. Tom and I appreciate that. I'm trying to figure out here screens. No, that's too close for Tom. Okay, so I just want to make sure that we are all good. And yes, oh Tim, I love. We used to save the seeds when we were little, and my mom would put those right in the oven and she would roast them. They were so yummy. So pumpkin seeds are always good this time of year. So our first person waiting in line for us to, well, I can't go all the way back up, but was Roots and Waves. Ange was here. She said she wasn't going to miss it. And I can't pull it up any further, but 'twas the night before Halloween, and all through the haunted house, not a creature was lurking, or was there? So,
What
welcome,
did
welcome, everybody. Huh?
what did you call this by you when you were growing up? Was it Mischief Night, Devil's Night?
Oh, this was called Devil's Night, definitely. And my mom really did not want us to go out. Nope. We were
Oh,
not allowed to go on Devil's Night. Some
the
people
most
would
fun.
show up at the door, and I don't think we answered it. But on Halloween, then it was okay. And Tim, we hope your internet hangs in there. Thank you for being here with us. So I'm not gonna be able to go back up all the way, but Lexi is here. Hello,
Hey,
Lexi.
Lexi.
Dina Shaw woman is here.
Hey, Dina.
Teresa Hadarian is here. Everyone loving on the pumpkin seeds. So let me go up because I did see somebody hit. Of course, it was Moira that said, "Me, please." So chat is really jumping. So, okay, Moira was the first one I can see here. So, yes, I used to love Halloween was a lot different when I was younger. It wasn't so over the top. It wasn't so gory. It was just, some people having fun, with some scary costumes and the little plastic ones in the paper packages that we used to get that our
Oh
faces
yeah,
would sweat like hell and
yeah. It was basically a garbage bag.
yeah, and living in Western New York, you never knew if there was going to be snow on the ground for, Halloween. It usually was too cold and you're like, "But I got a costume. I don't want to wear my hat and gloves." And but
Yeah, it was always a crapshoot.
it is good memories. Good memories. So, I hope everybody I know Karen was on and she did a quick pop on because her kids were out doing that. And I don't know how I feel about this, but this trunk and treat, what's that?
I'm of
What
two
happened to the good
minds.
old days where you went from house to house for fun with the kids, with the parents? But nowadays, parents are so much in their phones that they can't keep an eye on their kids, probably when they're trick or treating. So it's safe for you to take them to a parking lot. I don't know. It just doesn't seem the same to me. So I feel bad for some of the newer kids.
It just means more candy for me, so it's fine.
There
I don't have to
you
give any
go.
of it away.
And oops, Lexi says waiting for Chinese food and gutting the pumpkins. Oh my God, Lexi. Oh, that picture.
Like,
I can't see the full picture, but it reminds me a little bit of Caitlin Doty. The She's got a channel and she's a mortician. She's got a
um,
couple best-selling books. She just did a video on Thomas Cromwell, and her videos are so well researched, but they're so funny at the same time. So
every time you bring up her name, I never know who she is, and then once you say she's a mortician, I'm like, oh, okay, I know who it is.
yeah, her first book was "Smoke Gets in My Eyes." She, her as her first job as doing crematory, and she was actually one of the very few registered and licensed morticians in the United States, and she was very much about eco and just bringing back the tradition of of death and burial and not being afraid. I mean, this is a natural process of life, and I believe she's an atheist. But she said that so many people are so afraid of looking at a dead body or wanting to brush and hide death and stuff, where she loved doing like the death cafes or Society of a Good Death or something like that. So but yeah, she's got some really great videos, and she's got like a graduate PhD in like Renaissance literature or something. I mean, she's
Yeah.
really she's a lot of fun. My costume is a kid wearing a parka. Okay. And hello, Delphi. Love a spooky night, and you know how to make it fun. Oh, thanks, Delphi. Some towns have gatherings easier that way. And yes, it did start with COVID. But guess what, people? COVID was 4 years ago.
Mm.
Bring trick or treating back. Yes, Odd Fellows. Thank you. Tends to show an actual coffin, but gave up explaining
Yeah.
that. Yep, I remember that. I just don't like that the trunk and treat keeps the misconception that it's safer because you still got to watch out for candy and things and stuff and whatnot. And our parents did that for us when we were younger, you know. Though sometimes maybe it was a crapshoot because people could still, um, and people know that I, have watched sometimes true crime and the paranormal and stuff. And I do remember watching an old true crime story a few years back where a father wanted to get rid of his kids. And so he got one of, those, straws with the sugar and, kind of took out the sugar and filled it with something else and gave it to his kids. And yeah, so you just,
But that
and
was
this is
his
just,
kids.
yep, and his kids. And of course, YouTube, this is just for entertainment purposes only. I'm just sharing an actual case. I'm not telling people to go do that to their kids, but you just never
I would
really,
hope not, Heather.
no, I'm not. It's just something that occurred to me. Delphi, I do not need a costume. I have in me, I am grandma. Aw. So it's a safe place. Yeah, but the good old days of going around and trick or treating. I always loved being Casper, or if I could, Wonder Woman. You know. What was your favorite costume, Tom? Uh oh, Tom froze. Whoopsie. Tom, come back. He'll be back. Yeah, this is a safe space here, but it was an actual case. Um, but yeah, our parents did a good job keeping us kids safe back in the day. And oh, all the candy I would eat. I always felt bad for Charlie Brown though. Always got rocks. Poor kiddo. So I hope everybody is enjoying. I don't know what people's weather's like here, but this is unseasonably warm here in Western New York. We had like 74, 75 degrees today. Tomorrow, yep, he'll be back. And then tomorrow it's supposed to be 75 again with some thunderstorms, but hopefully those will hold off at night for the kids to be able to enjoy the trick or treating and or the trunk and treating. And Dina, I dress up like a punk rocker using that colored hairspray. Very cool. When you need something quick to do the job, just get some of that hairspray, throw on some thick eyeliner, you know, and you're out the door. Perfect. And hello, Karen. Yeah, Tom will be back. I did not ban Tom. Tom it's Tom's internet, so um yeah, I try hard not to ban people, but welcome to the club, Karen. It is easy, chat jumps so fast. Hello, Peter, and hello, Carolyn. Mwah. What lurks beneath? Yep, Tom and I are doing some fun what lurks beneath readings. Tom got some great. Oh, there he is. Tom's got some great decks that he just recently got in the mail with old horror movie posters and things that he's probably going to share. And Timothy doesn't quite remember details, backstory, very cold shower in Oregon, Washington. Hey, Timothy, that's where Sharon and I want to relocate next year is Oregon. He lived in Washington too. And when he was younger, went camping and actually saw a real Bigfoot. So they're real. And Morris says, "Gord, how was your weather today, Tom? We had beautiful weather here. Windy
Gorgeous.
as hell, but It was
Oh, we had
beautiful.
no wind, but it was. I was just out, and it's like 60 something degrees out.
We
It's beautiful.
Yeah, we had 70 degrees, 70, 75.
Yeah, I'm
And
sure during the day it was warm. I was
but the
inside.
wind was whipping really good across the river. But it was very nice. And so hello, Christina.
Hey,
Um,
Christina.
there we
Sorry about that,
go.
everybody. I don't know what happened.
Internet happens. I know that really well. Patricia, Tyree, how are you, my dear? It's been a while.
Yeah.
I was trying to start her comment and hit ban. It happens. Now you know how when it happens, people think it's intentional.
Oh no. Who
And
did Care Bear ban?
Ange and Ange reached out to me and said, Karen banned me. How does she unban me? Help. And I said, just give it 10 minutes, she'll be back. But I don't have a wrench, Karen. So even if I could help you, sweetie, I couldn't help you at that time. But it'll be back.
I'm sure she deserved it.
Carolyn Booker, my favorite costume is nothing at all.
Okay, Carolyn.
Ooh, spicy. And Peter, oh my goodness, he must be like blushing, like, oh, my woman, my woman. Oh, we just love you all. Winnie the Pooh would be impressed. Wait a minute, what? Actually, Delphi, we are not doing we're doing themed readings tonight, so it's what lurks beneath readings, where we'll just pull cards and see what kind of fun messages that we get. And if Delphi, if you want that, go ahead and type me. But Delphi, if you do have to go, sweetheart, let me know. Because one of my recent lives, you came up, but you weren't in chat, so we couldn't do your reading for you, my dear. Yes, she was Lady Godiva. Were you on a horse? So
Peter was the
Patricia,
horse.
I lurk a lot, annoying health issues. I hear you, Patricia. So Karen says, me, please. So right now I have 2 people left, or do I have 3? Let me see. I have 3 people. I have Moira, Dina, and Karen. And he said no, he's used to it, of course. So if I missed a me somewhere around there, just go ahead and just throw me in there again today. Was blustery, windy here. Yeah, Dina, we had gusts of like between 35, 40, in some areas a little stronger, but just really nice today. Got to go to the river and got a nice wind bath. Just letting the wind hit and cleanse, and oh, it felt so good. So
Is that true, Karen? That's my first time reading for you.
really,
I find that hard to believe, but okay.
wow. Well, Tom, you don't read very often. I can count on my hand how many times I've seen you read, and it's still, I think it's only 3 times for me at least. So I'm honored.
And you'll soon see why.
Yes, he's fabulous. Okay, Delphi. So Delphi, just in case you have to go, please let me know. Alrighty. So okay. So what was I was asking you a question before you got kicked out, and it was like, what was your favorite costume for Halloween?
You know what? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, I remember some, but like I don't like. I never had like a go-to. I mean, I did a lot of Star Wars when I was like young. I mean, those cheap costumes, like we talked about,
Princess
the
Leia,
the little mask and the like plastic sheet, like, basically that was over you. That was the costume printed on it.
My sister loved Alice Cooper, so one year, when she was still living in the house, she did both our faces, so that was fun.
That's fun.
Let's see. Tom's only been reading for 3 months. Give him a break.
Publicly,
yeah,
maybe.
But I have received a reading in private from Tom, and they've always been very accurate. And most recently, we don't typically like to do predictive. We try to give advice and the energy at the moment. But those cards panned out in a very positive manner within the next 2 to 3 days. So yeah,
that was a pretty surprising, because I'm not one for generally for reading future events, but
Strawberry shortcake. My aunt made it for me. She's a seamstress. That's awesome. And my sister made her own because she couldn't afford to buy a wedding dress for her first marriage. So she made her own, and it was a white one, long sleeves with the white hood. And after she left, and I got a hold of that, almost exactly like the one that Princess Leia wore in Star Wars. So my mom wrapped my hair. I put my sister's dress on. My mom kind of went overboard and kind of put like jewels and things and stuff on my face and around my neck. By the time I have the picture somewhere, by the time she was done, I looked more like a high priestess than Princess Leia. But it was still fun. It was a good memory. Pat Boone did a version of No More Mr. Nice Guy. Whoa, 1997 album was done in a different genre. Yeah. No more Mr. Nice Guy. No more Mr.
Get out your bingo cards.
we gotta get Tom to start singing. So I made my daughter a kimono. Oh, Patricia, it sounds lovely. Oh my goodness. Dina says, I think one of my first costumes was a hobo with a big fat plastic cigar.
Yeah, I remember
Carrie
that.
Fisher, but Debbie Reynolds was her mama, unless Boone was her maiden name, but I don't remember. But yeah, I miss Carrie. I was hoping to meet her one of those days at a Comic-Con or something like that, but oh well. And Carolyn said, Shaw women, it can be frightening for some people, for other people. Oh my goodness. I just love our chatters. They are so much fun. Debbie Reynolds with an O. Yes. And hello, Audra. Audra is here. Yes, kids will never know with those plastic masks and plastic outfits.
Oh my God.
We were that special generation. Nothing beats being a Gen Xer, let me tell you. So right now we've got 5 people starred, and for people coming in, Tom and I are doing some fun readings. They may actually ring true, it may resonate. We hope so, but we want to do something that was for fun, and twas the night before Halloween, and all through the haunted house, not a creature was stirring, or was there? So if you would like a What Lurks Beneath reading, put me in all caps, and we will get started. Bacon hair. Yeah, Karen and her bacon hair. Talk about the bacon hair. So I want to read for Delphi, because Delphi, you usually have to dip out before we get a chance to get to you. So Delphi, we're going to get you tonight. So let's go and do Delphi first. And what decks do you have with you, Tom? And I got you, Lexi.
So I'm not sure what I'm gonna. I pulled a couple. I have the Mio Im's tarot, which is a standby for me. Just because it's got it's got a Halloween feel, man. It's a spooky deck. And I have the Old Whispers second edition. It's basically a Cthulhu themed deck.
I saw that on your Instagram.
Yeah. This is I have a couple editions of it, but that's the latest one that I didn't have. A friend of mine brought it for me the other day. And then as an oracle, I got the Woodlands Dark and Days Bewitched.
Ooh.
Which is like the horror movie, well, folk horror movie posters. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, so I just may have fun doing a little fun spin on some of these too. I got my Tarot of the Haunted House, Sasha Graham. But you know what? Sasha Graham wrote the tarot, but the artist is what really brings, of course. You can't have a tarot deck without the artist. And Mirko Peter, I can never pronounce it. I have a hard time, especially with Italian names. Pier Federici. I probably just butchered that really well, really good. So I have that deck. I have my Obsidian Veil by Vixen. I have my Ethereal by Vixen, and I also have my Witch's Oracle and my Lunatic. Not lunatic. I don't like calling it lunatic, but my Poe Lenormand. It's got Edgar Allan Poe and it's got skulls and things and stuff in it. So, and yes, Tim, he says Los Scarabeo has some fascinating
Yeah.
decks. Yes.
None of these are Los Scarabeo, though.
Alrighty, yes,
Right.
Sasha, and apparently Sasha's a B movie actress for horror films and stuff. See, I'm not into horror, so I didn't know that until I just, recently met her when Jackie and I did a live with her on her deck. So that was pretty cool. So, and Vivian, hello, Vivian just joined us. So right now we have 7 people starred. So we're just
Right.
going to kind of have a hold on that right now. Anybody else requests, I can put you on the list, but we can't guarantee everybody tonight. We see how things go. And so the first one up was Delphi. Did you have cards pulled already, Tom?
I don't have anything pulled yet.
Okay, so Delphi, I'm going to go ahead and start. And here, let me get back to my live chat and do this. So Delphi, 10 of Wands, feel like you are being burned at the stake. So in this story, Raven is the protagonist. She is inherited this haunted house, and in this card, she feels like everybody and everything is against her. There's such burdens on her that it's represented as in kind of like being burned at the stake. So many burdens. So much responsibility. Things can be very overwhelming. Hey, girl. Hey, yes, Tom, and he is reading with me tonight. Isn't this something, girl? So yeah, who'd have thought?
It
I thought you'd be
happens.
in bed too, girl.
It
Damn,
happens
I have to
sometimes.
go to bed. I really wish I could stay up and watch this. Oh, so Allison, I'm trying to get Tom to afterwards to see if he can make a date with us for Friday. So, um, working on it, working on it. But thanks for popping in and saying hi. Emily, I will add you. I don't know if we will have time to be able to read for you. I'm going to go and do the random, so that maybe we can get some people that we don't typically get to read for. So, okay. So Delphi. So the feeling of being at the stake, you know, things just piling up, the burdens, feeling like, everything is on your shoulders, things are almost kind of like the tower moment in a bit, but excuse me, in a way. But just all that, just the burdens of every day, everything kind of hanging down on you. Um, and then I got the 7 of Pentacles, and in this card, 7 of Pentacles is usually trying to have that patience, trying to wait for everything to fully come to fruition, and kind of almost the sense of feeling like, oh, is that last pentacle, is that last piece of fruit, or whatever is on the vine going to finally ripen? When can I have it? And in this deck, she went to go try to grab one of those and she accidentally cut herself on the thorn. So she's actually, there's a little bit of blood dripping on her lip. So this could very well be, having to wait, kind of feeling of impatience, like when is, all the flowers going to come to bloom? When is everything that, I'm trying to build and grow going to come to fruition? That could be represented by again the 10 of Wands. Just that burden of when is this going to happen? You don't want to rush it. You don't want to grab and try to take something off the vine before it's fully ripened yet, or you could cut your finger and hurt yourself, um, metaphorically with the and Allison says, yes, Tom, big letters. Please do a Friday with us. So it's on, I'm working on it. So Delphi, I got the Knight of Wands. So Pentacles. So when it comes to wanting to get this going and feeling the burden of when is it going to finally, um, just like him, this handsome man in his long black trench coat with his owl, he's handing, it's coming to you. You just have to be patient. You have to kind of, the Knight of Pentacles is the knight that moves the slowest. very laid back, takes their time, looks at all the angles, makes sure that everything is in perfect timing. And with that comes wisdom, like the owl. And the owl, he has a high perspective. It can see very clearly. It's a nocturnal animal, so they hunt very well at night. So just that bit of patience there. And at the bottom of the deck, I got the five of, oh no, it's not the five. It's actually the Hierophant in this deck. And it's an exorcism. So what lurks beneath the overall energy, um, whatever institution this has, has to do with, whether it is typically it's spiritual. So if you feel like something is not spiritually moving fast enough or coming to you or developing for you, this is just take some time. This is Halloween. This is when, from now on until pretty much through the month of November, the veils are the thinnest, where we really start connecting with our ancestors, with our spirit guides, really going within and taking that time to acknowledge our ancestors. Maybe ask them to give you some guidance, but to just really take the time to slow down, meditate, and try not to feel, it feels like there's that pressure that's that overbearing, and I mean, I wouldn't want to wake up with this guy at the end of my bed, that's for sure. um so just take your time, be patient, maybe go to your spiritual self, your higher self, your spiritual practice, and tap into that and find that peace um that you're looking for, wanting to rush everything. But everything's going to take its time, and that's what I have for you. And Karen says, this card, Hierophant, makes me laugh when I pull it for others. That exorcism. Yeah, and this could very well be exercising. Thank you, Karen. Exercising from your life what no longer serves you, and taking the time and the patience for that which you are waiting for to come to you. It will, and it will bring a lot of wisdom and insight, and hopefully maybe somebody good looking like that maybe in your dreams. You never know. So I'm going to give it over to Tom.
Okay. All right. So I have a little bit of I'm a little all over the place, but let me see if I'll
All over the
if,
place ritual.
let's see if we make some sense of this. Okay, so the first thing I pulled, so I pulled from the Mio Ims. It just felt like the right deck to pull from, and then I pulled Oracle card as well, but we'll get to that. So the first thing I pulled was the Queen of Wands, and this was interesting because I was only planning on pulling two tarot cards, um, and I pulled two court cards. I also got the Page of Cups. In this order, I find this kind of interesting that, like, I feel like you have the confidence in you. You're ready to move forward with something. Um, and it's good. Yeah, I mean, you're full. You have compassion in your heart. You have confidence. And then the page is weird because it came out at the same time as this came out. I also got the Five of Hearts in this deck. The hearts are pentacles, so you got a Five of Pentacles that popped out while I was pulling the page. Now the page is, generally that's the start of, it's interesting. Number one, it's both two court cards, so I find that interesting right there of itself. But I found it interesting that it went from the Queen to the page. So you have this confidence, but it seems like you may be starting on something new. I don't know if you have some kind of new idea that you're working on, or a new project that you have that you want to come set. But maybe I'm wondering with the Five of Pentacles if there's some concern that you have, whether it's like a financial, or you feel like you need help to do it. I think you have the creativity and the ambition and courage to do it on your own. So I don't necessarily feel like you need, and I feel like that's why it just kind of jumped out. I feel like it's an important card. I think it was an important message, but I don't think it actually relates. I feel like it's saying you may feel this way, but you need to move past that. You have everything that you need to do the task at hand. Now, what I found interesting was the oracle that I pulled was the guide. And I'm going to look it up in the book because I'm really not familiar with this deck yet.
What's it called?
Sorry,
What's that called? The card called again?
It's called The Guide.
Oh, the guide. Okay.
It's from the movie The Last Wave.
Ooh. Sorry, I'll be quiet now.
Yeah, that's fine. So what's interesting with this card specifically is that the messaging in it is the guide waits for someone like you to come and make change happen, which I think really fits with the message that I saw on the other cards. You are expected and you have a large part to play in the lives of the people around you, but you may not know yourself what that part is. Again, I think this all kind of still tracks. But what I found interesting with this specifically is it says, don't be fooled. Just because you're important in the lives of others, it neither means that you are wanted nor that they are your friends. So again, I think this goes back to that seeking help question, card that popped out. Nor that you are owed anything. So I feel like if you're moving forward with some idea of something that you're working on, stick to it yourself. Be careful who you look for support from. Just know that it may get you what you need, but it may not work out in the long run if you're going that route. So I'll leave it at that. I think with limited information that I have, I think that somewhat fits.
No, you're doing really good. So before I get to all the wonderful comments on that deck,
Yeah, I didn't read anything. Sorry.
Delphi said, I have a big project to build a fence.
Okay.
I bought 104 pieces for fence yard, and I need to find the worker. I think Ace handyman. So working on, getting help. So that wasn't far off at all, Tom. And
yeah. So I would just be careful then. Choose wisely who you get to help.
Yeah. And Karen says, wow, those are deep images, Tom. Lexi says, I go back and forth on if I need this deck.
You do.
Moira says, I just looked this deck up. Very cool images. And Timothy says, it's like watching anime noir Burton style. Yeah. I can see the Burton connection. And then let me just make sure. Yep, Delphi talking about her project already. I just want to make sure I got everybody's comments in. So, yeah. So next up is going to be Delphi. And she says, that was good, Tom, Delphi said. So thank you for laying this read for you, Delphi. Now I kind of get the idea for the burdens, the 10 of wands, and taking your time, just like Tom said, don't rush into it. Make sure that the right help that you get, because you got to be careful. People do take advantage of others when it comes to contractors and things and stuff. So make sure you vet all your your choices and try to get as many good references. And Delphi, yes, Tom does have a YouTube channel. He typically doesn't do any lives, but
no, I should, but I don't.
It may change, but he does do flip throughs. So I didn't have a lot of time to do much in the description, but Tom's channel should be in the description, unless one of my mods could go ahead and toss Tom's channel in there. That would be great.
Thank you.
So Lexi is new to me. So I automatically, when I saw, I knew exactly where to pull from. I'm almost done. I just wanted to pull an extra card because I like, cards in threes, and a couple of decks Lexi came to me. And so I first pulled from, let me put me in the biggie. I pulled from my Obsidian Veil, and this is by Vixen. I also pulled cards from his tarot as well, his Ethereal Tarot, and this is on the transformative and shadowed women in our history. So there's all sorts of women from Joan of Arc to the Medici, Lilith, goddesses. There's a whole bunch of different women in here. And Miss Carolyn Booker actually got Joan of Arc last night, which was pretty cool. You, Lexi, you got Elizabeth the First. So pretty cool artwork on here, Elizabeth the First. And it says here, I may have the body of a feeble woman, but I have the heart and stomach of a king. So she came out for you. And I pulled from a cup from the his Ethereal, and I got the Ace of Pentacles. So taking that, to me, that feels, she feels very, it's like she almost encompasses all the queens of the deck, because she had the ability to communicate the thought, to be able to rule, especially back in that day. It was very rare for women to be queens. So she had, to have that control of the emotions, the clarity of thought. She had to be very grounded. She had to be very passionate about the throne. And the cups, she was a woman. I don't know how nurturing she might have been to people in her inner circle. But she listened to her intuition, I'm sure, very much, to also be able to rule and guide effectively. And to go with it, I got the Ace of Pentacles. So it feels like this is something that you got in the work. Something new is coming. Something possibly with study, with security, possibly finance. And it's really interesting. I love the tree in here. So for me, it's like the heart of the matter. It's like in the heart of the tree. So for me, the heart of the matter lies within getting grounded, getting rooted, finding that security, being open and welcome to it. Because you see that beautiful light coming down from the sky, blossoming that. And as you're getting grounded, and as things are coming to you, in the typical tarot, it's a hand handing you something coming in from spirit. Here, it feels very much like this is something that you are growing, that you are rooting and growing through yourself, that you are bringing forward. And I got the Chariot moving forward with this. And I love like the raven in there. The raven, I'm becoming really close with the crow and the raven, working with the Morrigan and the ravens and the crows about magic, about trusting in your personal power, connecting with the mystery of the universe, but really tapping into that magic. The pentacles are spiritual as well. So getting grounded, tapping into your spirituality, and that will be carrying you and moving you forward. And I pulled from the Poe Lenormand, and by vowing that Chariot, I get the lilies. And the lilies are about purity, as in like chastity typically, but in here it's purity of thought, being authentic, walking your walk, talking your talk, staying true and authentic to yourself, remaining pure to your vision and to what you want in life. There may be some suffering, some burdens that are coming along, some sadness. Um, you may already be in the middle of a crossroads here. Um, but, with the crossroads, we have chances to connect and petition, the gods, the goddess like Hecate. She is one that's of the crossroads, sort of like the Morrigan as well, the triple goddess. And the overall energy is the woman. So I feel like this is you, or also maybe an ancestor that you might want to tap into, or you feel might be reaching out to you to help support you through this, to help you develop in this. To me, it feels like a very grounded and rooted spiritual path that you're on. And I will end that right there, and I will give it over to Tom. Sounds interesting. Yeah, it's really, I mean, he writes a lot on the goddesses, so I'm just going by the cards, but I do plan on doing a show where I just do readings on her books. So, all righty, Tom.
All right. So I know we said we were going to do fun and lighthearted, but sorry,
Well, that
Lexi,
well,
we're not going to go
everything
fun and
is
lighthearted.
lighthearted. She got suffering cards, to explain the
Exactly.
cards. So it's all part of life.
It very much is. So, Lexi, I got some interesting cards for you. Um, I pulled 2 cards for the MIOMs. First card, talking about Bird and 10 Wands. You have a heavy weight, that you're carrying, that you're. It's part of you that you need to work on. It's the 10, so you're there. You're at the end of it, but it's still the heavy lift was kind of there, but there's still an aspect of this that you have to work through. And unfortunately, the second card I got for you was the Tower.
Sorry. I'm just seeing Lexi's comment about your beer care.
Yeah, she had me rolling on that one before. So unfortunately, you have the Tower. You're in the middle or just about to be in a Tower moment. And I think it's related to the burden. And I have some ideas, honestly, just from what I know of what this could be, and we could talk about this offline if you want. But although I think the next card will give you a very heavy influence idea of where I'm leaning on this. But so I decided to pull from a deck that I wasn't going to use tonight, but I decided to pull from the new Deviant Moon Gallery of Hallucinations Oracle.
Oh.
Felix Knox Gallery of Hallucinations.
And she
And I
says,
pulled.
I'm not surprised. So you're reading her. Yeah.
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 So I pulled this card,
Oh.
The Plea. Now, I think what is quite interesting here, knowing what you recently brought back from home, I feel like that's very fitting. And I'm just going to read a little tiny bit from this oracle because it's literally the first time I've pulled this out to read what. So bear with me, and I'm sorry. The city was burning, and so was she, a young woman, her skin glowing red and her hair ablaze, knelt in desperation, arms outstretched towards an old woman hidden in the shadows. Her eyes begged for help as the fire consumed the buildings behind her. But the old woman remained still, hands clasped in prayer, her lips moving in silent whispers, offering no real aid. The flames roared louder, igniting the sky above, yet she stood unmoved, as if her faith alone could somehow quench the inferno. In the end, the young woman's cries were lost to the flames, while the old woman prayed for salvation that would never come. And this card speaks to a crisis that requires like immediate attention, chaos and destruction, a situation spiraling out of control, an urgent call to action. There's a few other things, but I mean, I think ultimately, I don't think it is as dire as it sounds, but I do think that you have some unresolved things, specifically around the iconography, whatever the word is.
Iconography.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It is depicted here, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So I don't want to, go too into anything.
She said, "Damn." That was her last
comment. All right, Lexi. But yeah, we can talk about it if you want more info.
And Karen said, those were powerful cards with a broken spine. Very interesting. The new tower. Yes, Karen. That said a lot.
Yeah, I love the imagery in this deck so much.
And she said, nah, I kind of know where you're getting at here. So and Tim says, yeah, can't unsee something just seen. Yeah. So all righty, Lexi. Well, it was nice to meet you and be able to read for you. All righty, go take a quick sip. And Emily, are you here, my dear? Because there have been a few shows that I've done where we weren't able to get to your question in time. And if you're not, oh, there she is. So we will do Emily. And she says, on that note, I'm going to enjoy some Chinese food.
Enjoy
Oh,
it,
well,
Lexi.
enjoy, Lexi. Thank you.
See you.
All righty. So let's see. What do I get drawn to for Lexi?
For
Ooh,
Emily.
decisions. What lurks? Okay. I'll be in the background. Okay.
I do, Moira. It's from last year sometime. I'll find a link for it after I'm done shuffling, and I'll put it in the chat.
And Emily, as I mentioned earlier, what lurks beneath is the question that we're pulling cards on. It's a theme question, so hopefully whatever Tom and I get will resonate with you.
It may relate.
So you never know. Interesting.
Words you don't want to hear from a tarot reader.
Let's stop. Here, let me go to this deck. It's okay, my dear. Just wanted to let you know. Wait a minute, did I just have a jumper? Sometimes you get jumpers and then you get flippers when you're shuffling. They don't jump, but they flip. And I could have sworn I just had a flipper. You know, I keep saying that those mermaid fins need to go back in, but you know. I left the sea a long time ago behind. Whoa, now that one jumped. Okay. Ooh. Oh, and I can't. If I can't get to the mute button, I'm sorry, y'all. I live on a main thoroughfare, so if you hear stuff, I apologize. I can't get to the mute. So on your bingo boards, you can all mention the drag race or the loud music or whatever. Okay. Once in a while, jumpers and flippers will say something profound. You're exactly right, Tim. Were you all ready, Tom? Did you want to go first?
You can go first.
Okay. So Emily, what lurks beneath? From my Witch's Wisdom Oracle deck that I have here, I pulled Homeland and Foundation. But I'm really I'm looking at Homeland. So for me, this feels home, your home. This could be also your community, your local area. But I also get Foundation. And I also got the Scrying Mirror and Shadow. And so with these two cards, I am getting that there is, well, first of all, we can just kind of look at, the elephant that's in the room for a lot of us. Many of us live in the States, and even here in the States, what happens in the next week can affect a lot of things globally as well. We have our elections coming up, and that's on a lot of people's minds. There could be a lot of upheaval, unrest, a lot of nervousness in our communities that can, infiltrate into our homes, into our personal lives, and then you have everything else that's going on in the world. And of course, you have the astrological. A lot of stuff is going on in our lives right now, globally and even in the universe. So, Foundation with the Scrying Mirror and me getting the Shadow, it also feels like this is where you have to do some shadow work is needed. There's some things that this could be stuff that's being brought up because of things that might be going on in the home, again, the community. But there is a foundation needs to be created, a firm foundation to be able to do the shadow work, to be able to look at ourselves, look at our shadows, embrace it, honor it, and see what lessons, that we can learn from them. And from the tarot of the haunted house, I did get the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands is usually an individual. I got a couple of male cards, so I don't know if this might have to partake with or do with a male that is in your family, or somebody that has these type of masculine qualities. But with the Knight of Wands and what Sasha says in her interpretation, this could be like someone carrying the torch for you. Um, so this could be you carrying the torch for yourself, trying to stay motivated. Um, but for me, as I'm saying that, I'm still being drawn to that there is an individual who has this type of energy. It doesn't have to be an actual male, but someone too that might have a strong, maybe like a masculine energy. But this is also someone that could very well have a fiery temper as well. Someone who's very vocal, very aggressive, very opinionated, very passionate. And I don't do reversals, but when this came up reverse, I have to look at this. This is the Justice card, and the Justice card is typically about fairness and balance. In this state, it was reversed, so I'm feeling like there is some sort of there's a lack of justice. You feel that there's some sort of unfairness. Um, and then I got the King of Wands, which again reiterates, this masculine energy. He's carrying her almost kind of like, is she a victim? And the wands, they are about vampires. So you see a little bit of blood on his lips. So I don't know if this is an individual from your past or currently in your present that you feel maybe did an injustice to you, um, or created some sort of imbalance in your life where you need to find that foundation and you need to get grounded to be able to start facing and doing the shadow work. Um, I'm going to end right there and I'm going to give you over to Tom.
Heather, did you start with saying something about grounding on
Yes,
that?
I got homeland and foundation, so I feel like there could be some grounding that gets needs to be done to be able to start working on the shadow work that I was
Yeah,
doing. That was my initial connection.
agreed. Okay, so yeah, a little bit iffy imagery that'll come up here,
Hi,
but
Tim. Thanks for being here.
ignore. Hi, Tim. Um, I think the card is unnecessarily bleak, but I think it speaks to this. So, so the card I pulled was the Hanged Man.
Ooh,
Which typically is speaking about new perspectives. I mean, you're seeing the halo on the head. It's there's it's it's moving away from some old ideas and seeing something new, fresh and new. Um, and I think you're going to get enlightenment from looking uh, at something in a new way. I don't know if you're working on something specific or not. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on, but I think a key to that is really taking the time and thinking about your situation, because I think ultimately it's good. I mean, I think there's a stability there. This is the Queen of Cups, which is going to speak to, like, I mean, it's a queen. The queens are always competent. They're always there's there's a stability and intuition that's there. So I think you need to look to some extent inside yourself. Um, and I think that's could be where the grounding is, just like come down, center, gain some new perspective, because the Oracle card that I pulled was quite interesting, along with the Hanged Man. It's the Field from A Field in England horror movie. Really love the artwork on these cards. So this is an interesting card because this also specifically is talking about perspective. And I'll just read the brief description here. The field appears empty and open, but it conceals much. And if you are not careful, it is difficult to leave. Have you found yourself in a place which seems uninteresting or barren? Look more closely. You may find in the soil, that grounding, the means to change your perception. But be careful. Left, it becomes your entire universe. Perspective is key. So I really think this is where that justice comes in that Heather pulled a little bit too. There's that weights and balances there that you have to.
It was reversed. Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to ground yourself, look inside yourself, gain that new perspective, but don't wallow on it, because you need to take what you learn and move forward. And just know that, you have the stability to do so. So that's what I have.
Okay.
Hope that makes sense.
And it does. Emily, I went ahead and just wanted to pull a couple of cards to go with that Knight of Wands. I just kept getting drawn to that Knight of Wands, this male here. And I wanted to clarify on that. And this does have to do something with trauma. There was conflict involved with this individual. It brought you the Nine of Swords, which is about hard time sleeping at night, nightmares, unable to sleep, just fears, torment. And it also, I can't make this up. And then, of course, the Tower card comes out again. And the towers are when things come down, things change, things fall apart around us. But the good thing about the Tower is that we can take, what is left, rebuild a better foundation, build a better foundation, to rebuild a foundation, and to rebuild, to heal and move forward. And hopefully you will find that justice, that balance, that fairness that you seek.
Yeah.
So she says it sounds like my father. Okay.
Okay.
Because I wanted to pull cards to see if this was your energy or if this was, and it just, when I saw that, to me, it just felt like this was, somebody outside of yourself. So, but yeah.
Man, the tower's popping today.
It was popping last night. We were getting that with Kristen and Karen. We were getting the Empress card. We were getting it was really interesting, the cards that are coming up. So, Emily, finally, I wanted to make sure we got to read for you, because I know that there have been a few nights when we couldn't do it. So, thank you for coming back. And I know Dina is here. So let's read for Dina. And let's see. Karen says, wow, Libra and Scorpio are in cahoots. Justice and Tower. Those are common in collective right now.
I mean, Scorpios are going to Scorpio,
And Delphi just said, I just subscribed 352 subscribers. So thank you, Delphi. And hello, Lindsay. Good to see you, my dear. And so Dina, what do I pull for you, Dina? What deck?
Well, Dina, you got a jumper out of nowhere, so.
Oh, and Lindsay says, I'm a Libra and Scorpio. And so is Tom. Tom just had a birthday Sunday, so.
I did.
Scorpio. I got to point it out again. My little bro had a birthday, so. My daddy's was the 26th, and I got to sit and think about him and wish him a happy birthday, and wished he was here. And then the next day I got to celebrate, at least give Tom a happy birthday. So, and everyone's wishing you happy birthday. Whoa, wow!
Thank you.
Well, I guess you're getting 2 cards from this deck. Um,
You're getting 3 cards from me, Dina. So from this deck. So
well, I'm going to have to. I don't know. What am I going to have to?
you know what? I am gonna go Felix Nacht.
Oh boy. So Dina, 2 cards jumped from the Obsidian Veil. And again, I am going to do a show where I'll pull one and I'll be able to read the entire information because a lot of this is really involved reading. I'm going to go by what Vixen writes on the front. 2 cards jumped out. First, the She-Wolf, and there's the She-Wolf, and it says here, "Unleash the beast, for with nurturing ferocity, I protect my kin." So, looking at this, with nurturing ferocity, I protect my kin. So I don't know if you have, Dina, family that you still are in contact with that you are very protective of. Um, I mean, this could be very protective of your feelings, of your own space, of your own beliefs. Um, but here, I protect my kin. It just feels like I'm looking to see if. Okay, I'm going. Dina, can you let me know if you have family um, that you feel very protective over? Um, because I did get the next card I got from this deck is Nyx. I'm Italian. We're all about family. Yeah, I came from Italian family. That they really. I digress. This isn't about me. This is about you, sweetheart. So Italian, yes. So I'm sure that like most of us in the metaphysical, the spiritual, that we're here. Not everybody is going to be on board with our spiritual beliefs and practices, but I feel that you have people in your family that you are very protective over, and you are not one to be reckoned with or messed with. She came right out. She was one of the ones that flew right out for you. When my parents get into their minute, I do worry about them. Okay. I did get also Nyx, so that makes sense with the worry. Okay. I got Nyx. From my darkness emerges the beauty of dreams and the whispers of the cosmos. So both of these coming out. Um, again, paying attention to your dreams, messages. Um, this could also be someone from spirit who you might have connected with that you felt would be like she wolf energy, very protective. I feel that coming through. But I did pull 2 cards from Vixen's tarot deck, and I did get the Nine of Swords again. So there is the anxiety, there is the worry. Um, and with this reading, I'm looking at her back and how the skeleton is exposed. I don't know if you feel like you're constantly looking over your back, if there's something going on right now, where you feel like, typically, this is not how I read, but when I'm looking at the others, sometimes this is what stands out to me. Just very exposed. And yes, she has no head, but again, the Nine of Swords, about the suffering, about the anxiety, about the worry. And some of this worry makes sense now when you said your parents, because I got the Two of Swords, and to me, this could represent both your parents, decisions that have to be made. In some decks, this is called peace, where you're blindfolded and you come together and you know a decision that has to be made. Um, Listen to your intuition, listen to your dreams, listen to your guides. And I really feel like, Dina, this is not just you, but this is somebody in spirit, an ancestor that is with you in this lifetime, and is helping you through this. And they may be able to give you insight in your dreams, represented by Nyx. Um, in helping you come to this decision. Right now, two people with the swords coming together. That could be uniting, or this could be, defensive. Um, but whatever, it's a decision that's going to be needs to be made. And I know there is worry and anxiety because there's the Nine of Swords. So I am going to give you over to Tom. And hello, Blue Heron. I can't remember your name, sweetheart. Oof. I got to make a list like Rain does so I can remember everybody. Yeah, you don't mess with me. Tom, you're muted, just so you know. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. I was just sighing heavily anyway, so it's okay. You didn't miss anything. Yeah, this is a rough one. So seems to be the theme tonight. Sorry.
Well, what lurks beneath,
Exactly.
things that we got to face. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're in the shadow realms right now. So it's kind of plays off of what you were saying, Heather, because honestly, you were talking about the two swords coming together, and I do think ultimately this is something that does come together with where I'm coming from. And this is going to be very off-brand for me, honestly. But so I had a jumper, and I'm not sure if this is somebody in your life, the King of Cups. I don't know if this is someone you lost. Somebody who was like a source of stability in a somewhat turbulent time of emotional time. I mean, I'm feeling the water is just very to me it's very much about emotions and maybe some shadow work, but I feel like there's this source of stability there, and I think this is like literally flew out of my deck when I was shuffling. And now I'm not personally one for ancestor work or believing in spirits and stuff in a traditional sense, at least. But I'm thinking there is somebody who is there for you. Now, what I did pull for you was the Page of Cups. And I feel like what really stood out to me on this one is there's a little skull in the water that you're walking away from. I feel like this is about there's emotion that you're trudging through, trying to move away from. There's something that you may be stuck. Something. It's a journey that you're on to move forward, to move past some pain in your past. And I feel like it's weighing you down. And to play off the Nine of Swords you got, Heather, I went all full in on the 10. Wow. Now, what's interesting to me with this card especially is that I feel like whatever it is that you're working through, that you're moving forward on, that you're in the page part of your journey, but it's weighing you down. It's keeping you held down. Now, the thing to remember here is that you do have wings. You have the ability to pull those swords out. You have the ability to move forward on your own. But where I think this card comes into play is I pulled again from the Gallery of Hallucinations Oracle. I pulled the Shelter card. I found it kind of interesting. It's a hooded figure in both. One is holding a skull in their hand, one is holding light. What is light? Light is knowledge, it's warmth, it's security in this weather, in this changing environment that you're in. And I feel like somebody is helping you, somebody's there watching you, and I don't necessarily think they're on the same plane of existence.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody who knows me knows that if I'm saying that, it's meaningful. But yeah, so there's somebody offering you that shelter and that warmth and that heat and knowledge and light, and allow them to, because together you can do it. You'll be able to do it. That's all I have.
Okay. Dina, with the she wolf, was this person connected with the wolf or part of a wolf clan? I heard wolf clan pop into my head too.
Hmm.
So I don't know if that resonates, but stop licking my arm. Um, talking to the cat. Um,
Not to me
no, not Tom. Um,
this time.
so cousin Grimley is not here right now. So,
Nope.
so her last comment was, and then wow, nice. Okay. And Karen says that was powerful. Yeah. We're getting some really good cards. I like it when we get similar. Not, it doesn't always have to be the exact same cards but when you see that those similar cards or
Yeah.
similar, you know, connections,
Thematically. Yeah.
it's nice. So yeah, like Dina said, nice.
Oh,
Ramon.
look who decides to show up.
Yeah, look who decides to show up. Hello, Ramon. Ramon, would you be interested in Tom? Would you be open to Ramon joining us for the last couple?
Sure.
Are you good? Because we're at 10:21. We still have 4 readings left. So if you're down, Ramon, if you'd like to join us, just let me know, and I can always put the link in the chat. Send me the link. Alrighty. Well, I am going to pop out just for a second, or unless Ramon, I can put it here in chat. Let
I
me
can forward it to him.
Oh, okay. Thank
I
you.
have my email still open, so I can just forward it.
So Ramon was wearing a costume. He was wearing a baseball cap. I didn't know that was a costume. So, all righty. I'm going to have to put you down now. Yes, you can't stay up here. You're going to knock. You're already trying to knock my books and cards off the table with your tail. See, Grimley doesn't give Tom that kind of problems. No.
It's just not on camera.
All right, because everybody loves the kitty. So let's do the kitty. No, get your claws out of my. Oh, Auntie Allison made that. I don't need for you to. Okay, there we go. Have a beautiful rest of the night, everybody. Mwah. Oh, he was the killer clown? Oh, that was what that was. Oh my God. That was scary as hell. Ooh. I saw that and I was like, ooh, who's that? But I couldn't stay. So, yeah, I don't do clowns. Sorry about that. Um, so, up next is going to be Moira. And
Ooh.
so I'll go ahead and start pulling cards for Moira and wait and keep an eye for Ramon to pop in. So you're doing good, Tom? It's 10:23. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
I know
okay.
you're like a late nighter, so
Yeah, I'm good.
Kitty wants to contribute too. Yeah, but he thinks just contributing is looking and pushing my hand and knocking my cards all over is and it's just not. So Moira, let's pull
Ramon, I emailed it to you.
So let's pull a card from Moira from the black. Well, I keep calling it the black obsidian because usually obsidian is black, but the obsidian veil. Let's see. Ooh, Catherine de Medici. Whoa. But we're not done yet. Oh, wait, there's more. Christina, I'm scared of the clowns. Yeah, I don't like them. Mm-mm. Oh my God, there was a funny commercial. This is going back at least a good 5 or 6 years, and it was the post office. and the guy said, we need, post office to ship something, and they're pointing to this little clown toy standing inside the house, and he's like, we got to get rid of that, and the postman's like, what? He's kind of cute, and then he goes, ah, and the thing's gone from the middle of the house right up to the door, and he's like, yeah, you got to get rid of that thing. One of my favorite commercials. I see. This is why I'm not a stand-up comic, because I can't deliver even something that was funny, So, but it's, if you can find it, type in USPS, clown or whatever, you might still be able to find it. So, alrighty. So Moira. It's like Marsha. Moira. Oh, there he is.
Good. I was hoping
Here I am. Oh, you were hoping he was hoping I wouldn't show up.
Yeah,
Because
you wasn't gonna show up.
Because you said, "Is it okay, Tom, for Ramon to be here?" He was like, "Sure."
Sure. Sure.
Yet
That
here I
guy.
am. Sorry. How are you both? Great seeing you both.
I got
Good.
two handsome gentlemen with me tonight. Oh, I'm such I'm such a lucky girl tonight.
He's more handsome.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's too funny.
Yeah, sure.
So, how did your story go? How did your live
It went-
Ginger and Bobby go?
It was awesome because
Couldn't
the
stay.
story, it was called The Cabin, and it was a
Mhm.
short story that I wrote about an abandoned cabin in the woods. And there's this character, her name was Ilara, and she was
I love that name.
drawn to. Thank you. I try to come up with a name that wasn't tied to any type of ethnicity or culture, sort of generic. I don't know. It just occurred to me. And she was drawn into the woods, and she came across this cabin, and it's the story of, we were reading throughout the story, trying to draw the energies of what was happening, what attracted her to the cabin, what was the energy in the porch. And in the story, when she walked in, every 9 minutes the rooms in the house shifted.
That's cool.
It was a living room, and then a nursery, and then a parlor, and we were reading the energies into it. Some of us came with, these are. It was a maze that the house was creating, with different rooms and stories, trying to confront memories in her life and blah blah blah. And
You need
it
to write
turned
a
into
book.
these.
You'd be a
Yeah.
great, fiction
Thank
writer.
you.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're
So
already
we
a great
came up.
poet, so.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You do me the honor, because you're a great writer as well. So we came up with the idea we have to do a cabin too. So there is more series to
go.
follow from it.
Cool.
Very nice.
But it was fun. It was fun.
Ramon's, artistic. He's a writer. He's a poet. Tom, he is an incredible sculptor. I've seen some of his recent work, or at least that one piece that you're working on. Amazing talent. So many of us writers, I mean, not writers, readers, are
Mhm.
untalented on so many levels. So it's nice
Yeah.
to be able to support my fellow readers. and
Yes.
artists.
Tom is an amazing cynic as well. Very
I just-
gifted.
Audra says, I went to the reading on
That's
Ramon's,
one way to put it.
Bobby's, and Ginger's, but it wouldn't let me in the chat after I said hello. I
Really?
was locked out in
Hmm.
all three. I wonder why, Audra. That's weird.
The
Yeah, my
the
remote.
cabin the
Mhm.
cabin locked you out. Interesting. I'm
Bandit
sorry
people,
you
Ramon?
went through that.
But
Jeez.
his beard care is
No.
so right. Right, Tom? Yep.
Oh,
Hello,
come
Sharon.
on.
No, right now, my dear, cushions are closed. So I'll add you to the list, but I can't promise that we'll have time to be able to read. But thanks for popping in, and we just welcomed Ramon. So thank you, Ramon, for joining us. And
Yes.
we are currently reading for Moira, And the readings are what lurks beneath. So
What
we're
lurks
using
beneath?
kind
We're
of our
looking at that very loosely. So
Mm-hmm.
It's been very interesting. It's been a little heavy, but it
Beneath
is
anything
still here.
specific? Anything specific or just in general?
just kind of in
It's just
general.
a general, and
Okay.
we've been actually coming up with some very similar cards
Yeah, it's been a
and messages, and it has to do with shadow work and things in our life that's
Mm-hmm.
going on.
it's been
So
pretty heavy.
Interesting.
So
yeah.
Okay. Let's see more. What lurks beneath?
So Moira, I'm ready for you. So I'm going to go ahead. Um, and I got for you, Moira, Catherine de Medici. And it says here power can manifest in unexpected forms, even within the delicate vials of deadly secrets. Interesting. So I wanted to read just a little bit to get a context here because I did pull from it's called the Lunatic Lenormand, but I'm kind of funny with the word lunatic, the way sometimes it's used. So I call it the Poe Lenormand because it's got Edgar Allan Poe in it. I did get, before I look at this, I did get the man card. So for me, this feels like an elderly gentleman that's involved in your reading tonight. So what lurks beneath this could be somebody in spirits. This could be somebody still alive. Um, but I'm feeling like because I did the child card in this, so this very well may be a grandfather. I did get the moon, and the moon is about cycles. Um, and I wanted a clarifier on the moon, and I pulled another card and I got the bear, and the bear is about strength. It could be maternal energy as well. But with the moon card and with the bear and about strength, this energy with this gentleman, this older man, fluctuated with the cycles of the moon, or represented the fluctuation of the cycles in one's life. But I'm feeling like the moon played a part in that. The next card I did get was the fish, which has to do with wealth and money. So this gentleman may have very well had money, very well to do. Um, and that bear could also maybe represent a bear market. Maybe they were very good at finances. But the fish was always representative of having enough, having prosperity, having financial security, um, having that societal, I don't want to say bourgeoisie, but it was a sign of status. It's like a financial status. And then I did get the child card. So I feel like this is for you with this individual. So I'm just going to set those aside. And with Catherine de Medici, she was of the Italian de Medici's. And I just want to see her really quick because I'm still learning about some of these women. A great show if anyone's ever seen it. It can be a bit graphic, but it's called it's Leon something with Leonardo um, da Vinci. I can't remember what channel it was. I think it might have been shoot. It was free on Tubi. It was a series. I'll let everybody know, but it was the involvement of Da Vinci with the Medici's, and it was fiction, but at the same time, very well acted, very well done. Not for the faint of heart though. So let me find where Catherine is because she did not. He did not. Vixen did not do this um, in alphabetical order. I wish he would have. And so she was so she was influential for her role as Queen Consort of France. So I think the
Of King
Medici's may
Henry II. King
okay.
Henry II. She
So I
was a
know some of the
consort,
de
and
Medici's ended up
she
making it
she
to
was the
their
mother of some of the French kings as well.
yes. So she was very
Hmm.
shrewd with political maneuvering. So this might be where the male card comes in. Okay. Using her intelligence and diplomatic skills to maintain power and protect her family's interests. Okay, now I get it. So I believe, um, Moira, that this gentleman, it was some sort of influence on you with being able to, that was shrewd with politics, communication, debate. And this individual growing up for you had influence on you. So I believe that this is where that is coming from. I'm going to end it there because I want to see what Ramon and Tom gets. And Tom, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready, but I'm gonna go first if you don't mind, Tom, because
Sure.
Oh,
the cards I pulled actually connect with what um Heather
oh,
has, especially with Catherine de Medici because she was a powerful woman. Um,
mhm.
she had she had great influence. She had a great sense of political acumen as well. And the cards that I pulled have a connection with that because the first card I pulled is the Queen of Wands reversed. And this is a card that talks about in the reverse form. It talks about insecurity, right? It talks about being introverted, temperamental, and what I feel it's saying that is that what is lying belief? There's a sense of insecurity in you. We all have insecurities in our lives, right? But yours might be at a point that is very important, driving, it's influencing in very important decisions, right? Second card I pulled is from Lenormand, and it's card 33, and it's the key. And the key talks about success, security, logic, bringing things to conclusion, right? And these are things that you can't achieve if there's a sense of insecurity. If you're putting yourself, because this is yourself, obstacles in being able to go forward. So, in connection with Catherine de Medici, there's a connection there between power and insecurity, right? So, there's an invitation to go inwards and analyze what is causing it, right? Most of the time, is what we are telling ourselves. We are, most of the time, it's us influencing, making stories in ourselves, right? It's not stuff that people tell us, it's us, right? And that connects with the third card that I pulled, which is an oracle. And it says Ancient Tales. And it says, mind what you say, for it becomes who you will be. So you are forging the path of who you are every day with the stories that you tell yourself. Just tap into those skills, those beautiful gifts that I know you have, and use that as your compass to be able to go forward. It's just, and don't let insecurity block your way. That's all I got for you.
Very cool. And according to the book too, that she was very familiar with poisons as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
what's your poison? Watching what you say. That could go very well too with Ramon's card. So, what you got,
Totally.
Tom? I love the decks that Tom's using. You'll love some of these too, Ramon. He's got some really cool decks tonight.
Are they
Ramon,
dark?
I think Ramon saw the Mio-Ims that I used last time, but already. But so I'm gonna take this in a slightly different direction. I think
Words are spells. But
probably a little bit more inward. So the first card that I pulled was the Four of Swords. A lot of swords popping up tonight. I feel like there's something that's been stressing you lately, um, that you need to think about and work through. I think some of this echoes a little bit from their readings as well, but like you can recoup, you can regain the mental strength that you need to move forward. You just need a little bit of time and a little bit of relaxation to get there. Um, but I think once you do start to move ahead, the second card that I pulled was the Seven of Cups. Now, this is a card that usually speaks about choices, and how there's a lot of options in front of you. But to be careful because they're not all good options. They're not all bad options. They're just they're good and bad, and you have to kind of just be mindful of what you're choosing. Now, I think this could be related to like what kind of path you want to move forward after you've done the work, after you've done the rest, and you're ready to do the work. I think it's the path that you want to take. Um, what's interesting is that I pulled for the Oracle card. I pulled Enticement. Uh, Again, this is from the Gallery of Hallucinations Oracle.
Oh, love it. Love
yeah, it's a
it.
great deck. And this
Please
is so
surrender that deck to me.
Nope.
Sorry.
Nope. It is mine.
It's all his.
Nah, 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 nah. I'll make you buy another thing.
I know.
But this is interesting that it came right after getting the Seven of Cups, because this is a deck that a card that also speaks to seduction, devious forms of manipulation or luring offers, a sweet temptation. But you're kind of you're bundled up and you're safe in your cocoon, in your rest, and but there's some devious choices that are very enticing right now. But I think you need to do the work and spend the time. I did pull one other card to clarify. It didn't really clarify too much, but it did tell me ultimately that I believe, so this is the maiden from the wood from the Folk Horror Oracle. Oh god, I forgot the name now. The Woodlands Dark and Dates Bewitched Folk Horror Oracle. It's from the movie Valerie and Her Week of Wonders, which is a great movie. I'll read the description because I think it's very fitting. The maiden is innocent but is not naive. She daydreams but is not oblivious. Are you in a situation that makes you anxious? Are you unsure if the people who surround you are who they say they are? Are you plagued by fantasies of things going very wrong? Don't worry. It will be all right. Everything will be all right. So I think ultimately this is saying, you know what? You're going to make the right choice. Just give yourself the time to make the right choice.
I love that combination of cards.
Yeah.
Love it.
And
Because,
yes, Karen, it is Patrick Valenza.
yeah, you were talking about, that with the Four of Swords and the need to rest. And the 4 is a number that talks about stability. So there's a search there of finding some type of stability. And with swords, it's in the mental level.
Yep.
Then you got the 7, the 7 of Cups. That card represents illusions, but 7 also it's a number that talks about challenges, responsibility, and a need for personal development. And then you got that Oracle card, that beautiful card, and I loved it. That sense of like needing to find some type of comfort, right? And it's 37, and 3 and 7 is 10. So it's the closure of that cycle. You need to bring closure and finding that moment of peace and security.
Yeah. Such
Very
great. I
nice.
love his artwork.
And Karen
Yeah,
said,
it's
"Is
beautiful.
that Patrick Valenza?" Yes, it is. I'm Jelly Tom. Karen said,
Show
That's-
off.
I ordered this like months ago and it finally showed up. So
and well, I hope Moira, those readings resonated for you. And speaking of Karen, she is up next.
thank
Hey.
you.
And I have cards all ready for you, Karen.
First time reading for Karen.
Oh, really? Oh, this is going to be fun.
That's what she says.
Yep. That's what she says.
I haven't heard that in a long time.
Yeah, that's what she says. So Karen, I pulled from my Witch's Wisdom and I pulled from the Tarot of the Haunted House. And knowing some of what's going on in your life is making sense with some of these cards. So the first card I did get is the Spirit card, and it's about initiation. And some of the item here, for some of the initiation, cords and skirts were made to kind of like represent. I mean, some practices they would have people kind of flagellate themselves a little bit, to show the pain and the suffering that they did with their their higher power. But With this, it's more a representation of the intertwining, the connectedness that you are developing with spirit, and you are going through like in an initiation right now. You are coming into your own. I can see some of that pain for things that are going on in your life. That things are going to be moving forward, while some will be moving, staying behind while you move forward. I did get the hex card, which is about banishment and kind of having to, push away or move or have people that push you away. It's kind of like a banishment, like, thou shalt not kind of pass sort of thing, but really that power. And it's not like a hex that they're putting a spell on you, but this is going to be just kind of like that banishment, like things that you're kind of going to have to walk away from. And the overall energies was the Lord God card, the masculine, and the hand fasting with union. So I know you know what that probably represents. So with the banishment, the union, and the initiation, moving into something new. So from Tarot of the Haunted House, when you do, I got the beautiful candle. And something that Jonathan Daly said is that's beautiful when I think of with this is that when you light one candle, you can light another and another without the other candle losing any of its flame. So for me, this is a beautiful card of lighting yourself up, moving forward. This is the Ace of Wands. You are getting new inspiration, motivation. You are forging ahead. You are lighting your own way. And to me, it kind of feels like spirit too, lighting the way for you, moving forward. You have temperance, balance, and patience. And two, you got your girls. You know, we talk, we hang out backstage. I love the balance of being able to share your feelings and stories with others, and that looking for that balance and knowing that you have that balance with those in your community. I did get the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Cups, of course, is typically somebody who is very romantic and very loving, very chivalrous. But what I loved about the Tarot of the Haunted House, I looked at her book. This represents the angels. So you have your angels looking over you, and one of the key words to this card was poetry, tapping into your poetic nature, your words, your intuition, that kindness and compassion. This card represents you, but it also shows the angels that are looking over you. And the overall energy at the bottom was the Ten of Swords. But girl, the sun is rising up. Things are coming full circle. Things are coming to an end, and the sun is rising, just like you will rise again in it, and you already are. And so that's what I have for you, my dear. And who would like to go next?
I'll go
Ramon.
next.
Okay.
Uh-huh. I I like the combination of cards that I got here. And it's interesting because you were talking about the sun. I did get the sun, but I got the sun reverse. And the sun reverse, it's one that it's that energy that it's a sad energy. There's sadness, boredom, depression, but at the same time, it's failure to appreciate the good things that we have around us, right? Even though you might be going through a situation that it's painful, that it's heavy emotionally, what this card reverse is saying is appreciate the other great things that you have, your health, your family. You might have gone through a traumatic situation, but the sun is there. It's just changing your appreciation of things and seeing the silver lining behind everything else. Second card I pulled is for Lenormand, and it's the coffin. And the coffin talks about endings, endings that are usually painful, right? But these are endings of things that had to get cut, right? It's deep sorrow, it's misfortune, it's parting with things, it's trauma, but it's the ending of something. This is Pluto energy. And as you know, Pluto energy is a destructive and forceful energy, but it brings also rebirth and renewal. So what it's saying is that this situation that might be uh, traumatic for you is an opportunity to resurrect a rebirth towards something new. And the third card I pulled is an oracle card, and it says whirling winds. And it says, amidst chaos, find your anchor in past experience. So use this, the lessons from the past of this situation that you went through as your anchor to be able to stay stable, right? You have the love of your family, the support from the spiritual realm, and your wisdom and experience to be able to move forward. So in spite of, the painful situations that you might have gone through, these are necessary endings, and the sun will always be there to illuminate you, and the spiritual realm will be there to support you as well. Your spirit guides are there with you at all times. That's what I got for you.
Thank you, Ramon and Tom.
Okay.
Okay, Karen, get ready. Your first reading from Tom.
Yeah, sorry. It's not going to be a good one.
Grab the oh, stop it. You're an excellent reader.
I'm not saying
I love your readings, Tom.
It's another weird one.
Let me say, without sounding creepy, I could be listening to you reading for hours.
That's creepy.
No, it's not.
Oh, it is Halloween, so there you go.
Well, I guess.
Creep on with Ramon. There you go.
So, I really wasn't paying attention to what their readings were. I'm sorry. So I have no idea if this is going to tie into what they were saying. Really weird thing happened, though. So I shuffled and shuffled and shuffled and shuffled the whole time we were talking. I literally pulled the exact two cards that I just had.
Wow. Look at that.
Wow.
So you heard what I said about all that. So that's that. I don't know. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to move forward. That's weird, but I'm going to move forward. And I just pulled, I ended up pulling 3 cards for you from the deck. First card that I pulled was the 6 of Hearts. So Hearts is pence in this deck. And this is an interesting card because I feel like, so there's somebody in your life that is giving you some generosity. Now, what I find interesting is, it's your typical like drawing of a heart, but once it hits your hands, it becomes real. Obviously it's pentacles. It speaks to material, the material world. I don't think it's financial. That's not what I'm getting from this at all, but I do think it's something physical within your situation. What was interesting to me was the second card that I pulled is the 7 of Swords. Now, this is usually a card of deception, to some extent. So there's some trickery abound, and I don't know if it's from you, from the other person. I think it's from the other person or whoever. But I pulled a third card just because I was kind of trying to get a read on what the hell's going on, and I got the Strength card. To me, this is you. I feel like this is, despite this stuff, you have some strength going on in your life. You're looking at it the right way. You're taking care of business the way that you need to. Again, I don't know what the situation is, but that's how I'm getting it. I think that you have the courage and the fortitude and all that stuff, blah, 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 the stuff that comes with the strength card, um, to withstand it. But now what's interesting is I pulled an oracle card for you. Pulled the Joyride,
Oh,
which is an interesting card. This was a card that's basically speaking to, you know what? You need to go have some fun of your own. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but the dark side of human curiosity, willful ignorance, detachment, a deceptive mask of normalcy, escape from reality, selfishness in the face of a crisis. So I think it's time to take a little bit of pleasure for yourself. And that's where I'll leave it. I'm not sure. That's where I'll leave it for now.
I like that card because you see like the lady reading, and I interpret it as, you need to read more, or you need to trust in your own skills and your own intuition with things,
Oh, yeah.
right?
mhm.
Being able to move forward. It doesn't necessarily have to be reading cards, right? But it's
No.
trusting in your own intuitions to navigate through things.
Yeah, I mean, like, be aware of what's going on around you.
Mm-hmm.
Be aware of the events in your life. I mean, it's a newspaper. I feel like it is speaking to that um, idea of take care of yourself. Do what you want to do, that you have the strength and the courage to do, but be aware of your surroundings as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Karen said, I need that time. Just time to be selfish and not responsible for others. Yeah, you need that
Yeah,
time to
yeah.
yourself, my
You
dear.
need some
Mm-hmm.
time like that, definitely.
Wow. Well, there you go. Karen, you got your first reading from Tom. Very powerful one.
And what a
So,
great reading.
yes, great readings, gentlemen. And next up, Christina from Down Under. So, Christine, it's 11 o'clock here, so it must be like afternoon tomorrow,
Yeah,
your
it's like
time.
lunchtime.
Yeah, time for lunch. And
Mm-hmm.
Karen also said that was incredible, Tom. A lot to think about. And Audra said, very cool, guys. So, and I know Christina is here. She's a lurkin. So, I already have pulled for Christina. Um, and I pulled from the Obsidian Veil. Christina, I got the sylphs for you. Um, I hope she's still here because I did let her know that she was going to be in the next reading. The sylphs surrender to the winds of change and embrace the dance of life's ever shifting currents. I love that. That's a beautiful message for all of us. Um, and I like this card because I ended up pulling from the Lenormand, the Poe Lenormand, and she goes, "Yes, I'm here going for coffee." Ooh, alrighty. I'd have a cup, but I've had too many today.
Mm-hmm.
So my first card for you, Christina, I did get the cross, and the cross is typically referred to as suffering, pain, a lot of sadness, a lot of grief. When I look at the cross, it also, with it being with the tombstone, tried to bury that grief, trying to um, bury that sadness. It's become whatever this is in the recent past has become a burden for you. Um, I do have the crossroads for you as well, and kind of being at the crossroads in your life at this time, trying to figure out, okay, which way to go. And what's really interesting is that with the crossroads, I got the dog card right after it, and the dog is about loyalty, friendship, trustworthiness. Um, it's that reliance and the support that you can get from an individual. And I'm feeling like, and with the crossroads and the hound, I automatically thought of Hecate or Hecate, because the hounds are one of her animal totems, and she's the goddess of the crossroads. I'm sure you've probably heard of Bobby Fierro Tarot talk about her because he works with her a lot about the crossroads. So um, at a crossroads. Um, this could represent somebody's, loyalty. I was looking at that and I was thinking, well, this could be loyalty that you have to yourself, trusting in yourself, being your own best friend. 'Cause it said dogs are man's best friend, being your own best friend. But I wanted to pull an extra card, and I did get the mice. So for me, with the mice and the dog, is making sure that with the dog and with this recent pain and being at the crossroads, this could very well represent a person that you felt you could trust, that was loyal to you, and then turned out to be someone that became unhealthy. Kind of the mice are cute and everything, but with the Lenormand, they're about kind of getting in and eating one's food, getting in and destroying things, tearing. They're basically they're the vermin. They can spread disease, spread. And as I'm thinking of spreading this and spreading that, just making sure that whether that this is a physical person with the loyalty dog, and with this is making sure that whether it is you or somebody outside of yourself, making sure that these mice they don't get into your head and destroy your confidence, destroy your faith in yourself, don't destroy the trust that you have in yourself. And I do like the cards afterwards because I got the coffin, which is the funerary chariot, and that is about death, rebirth, moving forward into a new life, a new way of being. I did get the books, and books are about knowledge. So I don't know if you're thinking about going back to school or you're taking up studying, finding a subject that you are very much interested in to help you move past this recent suffering and crossroads, really moving into a rebirth of yourself, studying, learning. This could be journaling as well. Yes, they're destructive. Thank you. Um, and the last card I have is the commitment card, and making sure that you stay committed to yourself, to your passion, to your studies, to your development and moving forward, and to your own health, your own well-being, and just really tapping into the wisdom that you have within yourself from the lessons that you have learned, excuse me, from the past. And that's where I will end there. And I think Tom's still pulling cards, so I will put Ramon next, unless you're ready.
Ramon.
Oh, yeah.
Ramon.
Is
So
your name wrong? I'm sorry.
no,
Oh,
I like
Ramon.
Ramon.
Ramon just for
Ramon.
dramatic effects. Um,
Ramon.
so you were talking about the mice card, and the mice card. Um, I have another interpretation for that card. To me, mice. When I see the card, I see it as a card of wisdom. Because Lord Ganesha always has a mouse with him. So to me, mice are survivors. Are survivors, right? They make the best of the resources they have around them. So I see it in that sense as well. And the interpretation that Heather was mentioning, it's the typical Lenormand meaning of it, and that's that thing that is eroding, that is eating away from your energy, your resources, right? And I feel that's the right one for this reading because the first card I pulled is the nine of wands, and this card reverse it talks about a struggle, your inner resources being depleted, a sense of exhaustion, fatigue. So I feel you are at this point that you might be gone through a lot of very difficult situations, and you feel exhausted, you feel tired, you feel I don't know, like that sense when you give up. But no, this card was telling you just keep that in check and go forward, right? Second card I got is the cross, and I think you got the cross as well, right, Heather? And the cross talks about burden, suffering, but it's also a card that talks about faith is having faith in yourself. And I see the cross as well as a crossroad, right? A moment in your life in which two different points are intersecting. So, and it goes at, you talked about the crossroads as well, right, Heather?
Hmm.
So you're at that point of in a crossroad in your path in which it's a moment in having faith in yourself, going forward, even though there might be a sense of exhaustion, tiredness, boredom, repetition. Just go forward, right? Just take a different perspective and go ahead. We all go through this situation. When I say that, I'm not diminishing you feeling that way, but it's the universe is putting this in front of you to give you perspective and stir you into a different direction. The third card I got is it's an oracle card, and it says fading words. It said was what once was loud now only whispers. Listen closely. Possibly the sense has faded away. You know, too much noise in the environment, right? That doesn't let you listen to your inner voice. And what it's saying is go inwards, listen to, the primal direction, which is your own instinct, your own intuition. Listen to your self voice. It's going to tell you in which direction to go, right? It all comes down to trust yourself and see life in a different perspective. That's what I got for you.
Alrighty. Very nice. And
All
I don't
right.
have any. I don't have any Tom early ritual. There we go.
Ritual.
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 Okay, so I pulled 3 cards for you. And I think I pulled 2 first, and then I pulled this one last, but I think this is the crux of it. So let's talk about this. This is the 2 of Swords. You have a decision to be made. And I think so I pulled 2 cards, and I think I'm going to look at these and speak to them in a very basic way because I think it makes the most sense too. The first card that I pulled was the 2 of Wands. The wands are about it's about action. It's fire. It's passion. It's you're ready to take the world on. You wrestled that stag and you won. You got the antlers are in your hands. You're looking for an adventure to move forward with. But on the other side of that decision that has to be made is the 9 of Cups. Emotionally, you're content. What this decision sits between these two. Do you give into your just being accept the contentment that you have? Well, I don't think I don't think there's any problems in doing that. Or do you look at the passion that's in you and decide that you want to move forward, that you want to take you know the bull by its horns, to not be so corny, but it's there for you. Now what's interesting is I pulled from the gallery hallucinations, pulled the affair card. Now, obviously affairs could be about passion as well, but I don't think that's really what we're speaking about. I think it's more speaking to the idea of like there's a dilemma, a moral dilemma that you have, maybe giving into some pleasure that's there. And I think that's part of it all. And I think this probably lends to the 2 of Wands more than anything, really. But you know, I was unsure of really what the point of this card was. Because I don't think it's about relationships. I do think it's about more that dilemma. But I pulled from the other deck. Oops,
I love that card. It's one of my
the
favorites out
angel
of that deck. I love the design.
from
Just had
Louis
to say that.
Pendesfen. And this is an interesting one because the angel appears at your shoulder and watches. They have a message for you, but you must see the angel there. You must be ready to hear their voice. Whatever your question, the angel is your angel, and it is a sign that the answer must come by knowing yourself. If you are secret or strange or impure or dark or dissonant, accept this in yourself. Embrace it. Only then will you find your answer. So it does, even though it's an angel, it does speak to this darker, shadowy dilemma, we'll put it, that you have. Do you give into your base passion or not? Or do you want to just be content? And know that it's you're emotionally, you're good if you want to be. So that's what I have.
Nice. And Christina says, I'm doing at the moment a development circle of reading flower energy. So the books and the study, very cool. Yes. And Karen says, Tom, that angel card makes me think of a glacier, the submerged part, like the iceberg. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love a lot of the design in aspects.
they're beautiful cards. Yeah.
And Christina says, thank you, Tom. So yeah. Wow, we've been getting a lot of compliments in chat, gentlemen, with all the readings. So thank you all for joining me and doing all these wonderful readings. And we do have our last reading. I did let Sharon know that we may not have time for her, and I have enough energy in me for one more.
Yeah, I can do one.
So Audra will be our last reading. And thank you again, everybody, for spending your and it's 11:11, Audra, my time here. Yep, Karen just put that in there. I just looked up and saw really quick 11:11. So there you go, my dear. And hi, Jay. Heather, what the Halloween are you doing? Shouldn't you be in bed, lady? No, I'm hanging with some of my bros. And I'm older than these guys, so I can say I'm hanging out with my little bros right now. So, and Lindsay says it's 12:12 where she is, so very cool.
I'm catching up to you.
Yeah, well, you'll never catch up, but that's okay. I always wanted to be a big sister. Now I'm a big sister. And yes, that is Tom hiding behind that card. And Jay goes, I see you, Tom. So, and Lexi also says, it's been fantastic having you in the background while we carve. Oh, you're welcome. I hope
great.
you're enjoying your pumpkin carving. And we may have to get pumpkin seeds now this week, because now I can think about is having some pumpkin seeds. But some of them put too much salt.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Lexi's carving music-themed pumpkins.
Oh, very cool. So Audra, that's not Audra, that's Tom. This is me. So Audra, Elizabeth I came out again. So she wants people to know about her, hear about her tonight. And again, I may have the body of a feeble woman, but I have the heart and stomach of a king. So I'm going to pull her out, because she obviously really has something to say. I just wish Vixen would have put these women in order. So give me just a moment, because he didn't even put numbers on these cards. So Elizabeth I is page 49. And so Elizabeth, born in 1533 to King Henry VIII, the Virgin Queen's reign was marked by political turmoil and the changing tides of religious beliefs. And it's interesting that she's coming up twice, and we're going through a lot of political turmoil right now too in our country. Very interesting. She
Are
was,
we?
you
Didn't even
know,
notice.
yeah, I try not to, but yeah, everywhere I go, all I see is red here. So, but I digress.
Ugh.
She was a skilled and strategic ruler, known for her political acumen and ability to navigate the complex religious and political landscape of the time. Elizabeth's reign was not without challenges. She faced numerous assassination attempts, political intrigue, and constant pressure to marry and produce an heir. She used her unmarried status to her advantage, cleverly manipulating suitors and maintaining her independence and authority as queen. You go, girl. Drawing this card suggests that your own intellect and analytical abilities are key assets in navigating your current situation. So, Audra, whatever current situation you are in, you have the energy of Elizabeth, the archetype of Elizabeth behind you. I do have the Eight of Wands from Vixen's Tarot to go along with this. And the Eight of Wands is take that energy and move with it. Eight of Wands is about um, uh, fast movement, sudden movement, just really, and I love how the flames are just flying out around her. So, really, just whatever it is that you're doing, go with the flow, go with that energy. Things are moving. Um, I did get the Seven of Cups, and the Seven of Cups is usually about uh, delusions or illusions, but also about choices. Trying to focus on right now where to direct all that energy. So take this time to do that, like being like her, being shrewd and taking her time and using and her intellect, figure out what is intuitively and also mentally, using your mental clarity and knowledge to which one that you want to focus your energy on the most. I did get the Six of Cups also. So there is some nostalgia, there is some longing for the past. And I know we've discussed this with readings for you on this channel. So, really kind of maybe taking those good memories or maybe taking things from the past and using them to be your support. You know, I'm hearing the word your buoyancy, to keep you afloat, um, and to let and try not to let the nostalgia cloud, the judgment of what it is that you want, because there's so much to choose from. And so sometimes when we're too tapped into memories or the past, we kind of get lost in all those cups of daydreams. Which do I not knowing what is illusion and what is real. So taking the time, really focusing on that. And I love the overall energy. You got Elizabeth the First, and I also got the Queen of Swords. So again, tap into that analytical part of yourself. Really focus on those cups. What Be clear to spirit and yourself what it is that you want to do moving forward, especially at this time of year with this energy, with the veils. Really connecting, communicating with your ancestors, your higher self, your guides, and possibly too, yes, your daughter. But watch how you don't fall too far into the Six of Cups, not to let that be a sadness and a depression that brings you back into that Seven of Cups emotion and mentality. Just really, you are clear, you are in control, you're nurturing, but you're grounded, and that's what I have for you. And let's see, I think I'll turn over to Tom, because Tom was like, I was like, oh, he's done shuffling.
I
So,
was reading the chat,
oh,
catching up.
do you want me to give it to Ramon instead? Or
No. I'm good. I'm good.
we're going to go to Ritual, Tom Ritual, and then we'll go to Moon Ramon.
Un scarob.
Scarob.
Scarab.
Okay.
Sorry, it's late, guys. I'm starting to get slap happy.
It's only 11. The night is young.
exactly.
Well,
Jeez.
we do that. Well, I'm awake, but with readings, you guys know how it is when you're tapped in for a while. You know,
I got nowhere to be.
Yeah.
it
I get
drains.
very hungry after a reading. I don't know why. It depletes me.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
energy. You gotta ground.
Yeah,
And
it takes a
do
lot
those.
out of you. Okay, so first card I pulled is the Empress.
That's an interesting Empress.
Yeah, it's an interesting take on the Empress card. It's a weird one to read intuitively. I feel like, um, I mean, to me, I mean, it's the Empress card. It's your feminine energy. It's the connection through all these, all your senses, all your, you know, it's reaching down. It's I mean, this is a card for about pleasure in my mind. Um, and it's there's an abundance there. There's everything that you need is there in this card. I mean, it's interesting, and where what confused me about this reading particularly is that the second card I pulled is actually my favorite card in the my favorite card in the deck. Now, honestly, and I said this before the last time I read with this deck, but this was the card that made me buy this deck. This is the Hermit card. I always felt that this was one of the most interesting takes on the Hermit card. Um, I feel like it has a very similar idea where you're going in and it's about study and it's about learning and taking all that knowledge, and instead of holding that lantern, I mean, she may be holding a lantern above her, but you're using everything you've learned, all the knowledge that you've taken through these books. um they're not closed, they're read, they're used, they're piled on top of each other, all that learning, and it's built up and built up and built up, and then you're able to climb out of whatever you needed to climb out of. You're seeing the way, now you're above whatever is holding you in, and you can see through everything. Now, I'm going to be quite frank. I'm a little confused on the way that this is reading with the Empress, because I feel like there's, the Empress is something about abundance and life and fertility and all this,
Creativity.
yeah, and creativity. So
Books, creativity.
do you need to go in and go inwards and become that hermit for a little bit and take everything and learn everything, um to attain this Empress role. And I pulled from the Gallery Hallucinations oracle, I pulled Remembrance, which is a card that's talking about, like, you know potentially mourning your
That's
previous
beautiful.
life, your where you've been, and you're wistfully looking back, um and taking it all in. And now, I mean, this could relate to the Hermit card, that you're maybe be looking back at that abundance of life, and maybe taking assessments of it all, and kind of taking that and learning from it, and then that's what you're going to use to move forward into the next phase of your life. This is such a beautiful card. It's such a mournful, but so beautifully painted. I gotta give it to Patrick Valenza. So that's what I have.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. And that reminds me of the card that I got, one of the cards that I got. And this first card is the Seven of Pentacles. And the Seven of Pentacles, if you remember, the Rider Waite is this man who is looking down towards like this plant that has seven pentacles. It's sort of like reflecting, right? And that's what this card is. If you see like some trees and the pentacles here, right? And this is about assessing your efforts. It's about perseverance, having a long-term view, and analyzing what is it that you have in which direction you want to move forward. So you're at a point in which you need to reassess where you at and where you want to go. The fruits of the labor that you have and how you could uh, magnify it, right? This is Pentacles, so this is in the material realm. It could be finances, it could be health, it could be your work, it could be your home. There's a moment to analyze which of these things in the physical realm are ones that need reassessment and in which direction to go forward. The second card I got is from Lenormand, and it's the Tower, card number 6. And the Tower is a card that talks about, isolation, complications, possibly, I don't know, things that are difficult to reach, right? Some people interpret it as things that are legal, but I feel that this is something that you feel it's out of reach, but in reality, it's not. It's sort of like your way of seeing it. So again, this is a invitation to be able to assess, analyze what of these things are the ones that you need to work on, and just consider that it's not something that's out of reach. You might see it that way, but it's not. And the third card I got is from Oracle, and it says Vanishing Steps. Revisit the path you took to find inspiration again. Look to the future. So this goes back to the first card, right? It's reassessing where you at, what you accomplished so far, and how you should move forward. It's inviting you to go into a certain direction, right? Using those skills and experiences that you had. That's what I got for you.
Very nice. And something that I wanted to share that Karen said, and Tom, you are doing fine. I mean, you're doing amazing reading tonight, so don't second guess your readings. But Karen wanted to suggest something about the I don't know how many people saw it, but about the Empress. If I can go back up there, if I can find it. First of all, Audra thought that it was a person with no head, just chimneys of steam. When you had your hermit card, Tom. Yeah, it is sometimes a little hard to but Karen said that Empress receives her blessings and lets them come to her. You take her hand and it leads to that knowledge. That's
Yeah.
beautiful, Karen.
Yeah.
That really is beautiful. I hope you do it. I know you're making your own little handmade, decks, but I really hope you create an oracle deck. That's really beautiful. Um, and you're welcome, Christina. You have a great rest of your day, my dear. And let's see. Audra said, I just did that. I just analyzed something. I chose to sell my horse 2 weeks ago and got a car instead. Had priorities and choices to make. Oh, Audra. That must not have been easy. I'm so sorry,
Yeah.
sweetheart, but sometimes we got to do what we can. And that was our last read, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Thank
Wow.
you,
Thank you for
everybody. I mean, to get Tom to, I've been trying to get Tom to join me for, he blew me off last, Saturday night. He fell asleep on me,
I
you
did.
know. And you talk about me, 11:30. It's still early. Yeah,
Hey,
but, but
I'm
I'm
an old
not
man.
throwing Tom under the bus.
I'm
Everybody,
an old
Tom knows we
man
pick
now.
on each other.
It
Yeah.
was just my birthday. I'm old. I'm
It's your birthday. It's your birthday,
Saturday.
Tom?
last weekend.
Last Saturday.
Happy birthday.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Happy birthday.
I tried to get
Thank
him to come on so we
Yes.
can like celebrate and stuff, but the old fart fell asleep.
I did.
Who-
Guilty as charged.
You did?
But
Well,
yeah, Tom and I love, we play with each other. So people are in chat going, it's just, that's Tom and I, and we just need to get him to join,
We didn't
so
have
now they're gonna-
concrete plans.
No, but
It
I
was
was
just an
sitting up
idea.
waiting. I was looking at the time going, am I going to turn a pumpkin at midnight?
And
I
I
turned into a pumpkin.
think I emailed you when I woke up and I said, "Hey, sorry, I
The
fell asleep."
next day, yeah, but I'm sitting there going, I'm a pumpkin. Well, anyway, I'm just joking. But yes, Tom was.
You only have to feel
join-
bad if you saw me like on Ramon's channel then instead, like
Then I'd be like, bitch,
Mhm.
what's going on?
exactly.
What's up?
Then you feel bad.
Fiat? No, just kidding. This is what happens when you hang around Miss Tarot D too much or Bobby or you're just all like, anyway.
This Tarot is a terrible influence on all of us.
Yeah, terrible influence. And Dina says that was awesome, you three. Thank you. And so did Karen. So I'm glad everybody enjoyed it. I had fun. And I was going to ask Tom what you got coming up on your channel. Do you have any flip throughs, or are you all caught up for now with your?
I have a bunch of
recordings?
videos that I planned to make because I'm off this week and I haven't made. I made one, but I have some others that I'm working on. So there's more coming.
Stay tuned. Make sure you
Stay
subscribe.
tuned.
Yeah.
But I will be on with Brian on his channel on Blushing Nerd Saturday afternoon.
Oh, I gotta get Brian on. I love Brian's energy. He is so much fun.
Brian's
and that
great.
hat. That hat.
He's from Philadelphia too.
Yeah. I was just like, wait a minute. When I saw that hat stuff, at first I thought he was in England. I'm like, wait a minute, he doesn't have an English accent.
No, he's in Philly. He's
But
in
that
Philly.
hat
No,
is
he's
also-
in Ohio. He's in Ohio. He's in
No,
Ohio.
he's not. He's in Philly.
No,
I thought he
Brian's
said he
in
was
Ohio.
in Ohio. Blushing Nerd.
Did he move to Ohio?
I think he's originally from Pennsylvania. Originally.
Gotcha. Because he said he's on Lake Erie, and I'm like, hey, I'm on Lake Erie.
Yeah.
I'm in Western New York.
Oh, okay.
So Ramon.
Ramon. I don't have anything planned. I cleared my schedule. I just had some work stuff going on, and
Yep.
I owe so many people shows,
Island of the
including
Dolls.
Tom. He was my
That's
next
going
in
to the
orbit,
Island
and
of the Dolls.
He blew me off.
yes, no, but I won't take anyone else. The next one will definitely be you. I don't know when, but it will be you.
You could take other people in front of me. We'll
No,
figure
no.
out something else.
Mm-mm.
It's fine.
Tom's
We'll figure out
gonna be
another
No, no,
time.
no.
Don't worry
sloppy
about it.
Seconds, right?
What else? No. We got to start with an orbit to get better.
Yes, that's right.
To share with
still
you,
do
yeah.
that. I forgot
And then
about
we'll
that.
take it from there.
There you go.
Because maybe I had the wrong impression on you. You're cynic. You're sarcastic.
No, that's all accurate.
He's going to have to
Yeah.
refigure the questions.
You do not want to believe. You choose not to believe.
Oh, don't even get me
Etc.
started.
Mm.
Sometimes it's like you want to reach through and go, but Tom. But that's what that's somebody I can respect when they stay in their
Uh-huh.
in
In their
it's
lane,
not
yeah.
rigid that he can't open his mind, but he'd be open minded. And
I'm
he's open minded, but yet he's
I'm
still
too
stands
open-minded at
by
times.
So no,
Mm.
that's what you're not easily swayed. You figure things out, on your terms, on your end, and you're not a sheeple. You don't follow the flock, so to speak.
Well,
No, I don't.
I'm anti-dogma in most sense of
Mhm.
of the word, and I find there's a lot of dogmatic belief in systems where
Mm-hmm.
people like to think there isn't. They like to think they're above that, but they're not. Usually, when they're thinking they're above it, they're the most dogmatic of them all. But
Spiritual bypassing is a big thing going on a lot these days. So yeah. Actually, speaking of, Jonathan Daly if anyone follows Jonathan Daly on Facebook, he shared a post today showing, kind of like a diagram of spiritual bypassing where everybody's up here. Oh, you're only if you're positive, and then ascension, this, and then other human emotions like sadness, anger, or fear, things at the bottom. And it's like, no, we're that's all of us. That's what makes us human. Like Angie and I did the human spirit the other day. These are all, and the next diagram next to it showed this beautiful round diagram where it shows all the emotions all mixing together. And I love that. That's a beautiful representation of, what being human, embracing and
Yeah.
experiencing all the levels, the low vibes, the high vibes, everything.
Ugh.
It's all about being human. Right,
Mhm.
Tom?
If I have to hear about
Totally.
low vibrational or high vibrational,
Yeah.
eh,
So anyway,
That's his. That maybe that's his online persona. In reality, he's not like that. He's
I'm
such a
devout.
believer. Yes,
we are
I've been,
all
you're gonna.
equivalent.
It's
Yes.
yes. As soon as the cameras are off, you're gonna start whipping himself and
exactly. I
mea
mean, open day.
culpa.
Yeah. No. But
That'd be
no,
amazing.
I totally respect Tom. He's somebody that
hmm Yeah, me
stays in.
too. I like his
He's
energy.
not swayed. He likes to play the devil's advocate, but at the same time, there's no agenda with Tom.
I, I don't. I think a lot of
I'm trying
people
to.
are not. Not, but he is not like he just says it. You know.
Like we're
That's it.
talking third person when Tom's not here.
Like, I'm not
Well,
here.
Tom,
I'm not here.
yeah.
I'm just.
No, he's
But
just
no.
sitting back and taking in all the praises, soaking it all up. But yeah, no,
hmm
it was just not enough. Let's
I've
see.
I've been around the block, spiritually speaking. I've
A lot of us have.
I've played around in most systems to some extent. I feel like I have some knowledge at
Yeah,
least
and you can
of
speak on it. Yeah.
yeah.
hmm
So but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I don't like about a lot of the we've talked about this in the past, how they're like just
Yeah,
things that
yeah,
we've
with me, you,
we've talked
Jeff,
about on
and
your
then
show.
Gerald, and yeah, that's what I miss about Saturday nights. We would have the open conversations and say this is not us saying that somebody's wrong, we're right. It's just sometimes in our community or within the tarot spiritual community, there is so much one way and only way, and if you think different, then you know
Yeah.
what I mean, and it's nice to be able to have a conversation where we don't get shut down in chat or get ignored because we may have a differing opinion, as long as we're being respectful and just sharing our
Yeah.
opinion, saying, well, this is how I experience or how I believe. It's okay to have that conversation. That's what I enjoy about my chats, is that we all respect differing positions, but when so many people just keep saying this is this way and no other way, then it's kind of like you're still kind of falling back into the old paradigms,
Yeah.
and
hmm
And then I have Ange disrespecting me.
well,
Well, someone said the spiritual block, so they're implying you're Tom from the block.
Tom from the block, not Jenny from the block, but Tom
Nope.
from the block.
Tommy from the
Tom from the
block.
block.
Tommy from
Tommy
the
from
block.
the
There you
block.
go. Spiritual block. Yeah. And let's see, you're lucky Miss Tarot D isn't in this chat to hear you've been around the block, Tom. I know.
Hmm.
Well, I are you sure? Because I thought I just saw him the other night on my corner. I can see Miss Tarot D. But anyway, good night, Moira. Thank you for being here, my dear. And yes, Lindsay, yay for different opinions.
Yep.
And yes, many spaces you are not allowed to voice your opinion, and I don't like that. Yeah. And that's why my circles have changed multiple times over the years. I gravitate to, the ones that, allow me to be who I am and to question things without, well, if you don't do this or do that, then there's something wrong with you kind of mentality. And no. Mm-mm.
And Heather will eventually get sick of me with my Crowley and my Ouija boards and all that fun stuff that she loves so much.
That's weird. I haven't encountered that in this community yet, so it's hard for me to like visualize it.
Yeah. But no, well, my stance, not everybody,
hmm
there's just too many people that play around with that stuff and they open all sorts of, I mean, we've had this discussion
Yes,
before.
we have.
And again, it's all about education, making sure you are educated, what you are doing, that your protections are in place and you're willing to accept any consequences that may occur from, so yeah. we've been there, done that.
Mhm.
We may revisit again at some
I'm
point.
sure we will.
But Ange is right. Nope, Tom, you are a keeper. Yes.
Stuck with me
Mhm.
like a barnacle.
And I'm
Yes.
going to share with people. I had.
And we like it. And we
I
like
think
it.
Oh, I was going to say something. I'm not going to say it.
That's,
But, I can't. Oh, so
It's a safe space, Heather.
during during
Be
summer,
yourself.
during summer, I was meditating the one day, and I think I was right. I was working on poetry or something. And yeah, I was writing poetry, and I was writing about. I was getting this image of this individual in a dark like room, like stones and a candle, and it was a man, writing like scribing down something, and boom, it was just like it popped into my head, and I looked at this person, and I said, "That's Tom. It's Tom." And it was just like, and I put my pen down and I'm like, do I send this to him? Because he's going to be like, no, because Tom doesn't necessarily believe in past,
Definitely don't believe in past lives.
incarnations.
No.
But when I saw the image, I could see his face, the long beard, the type of hat, the sitting down with the scribe with the fountain pen, the parchment paper, the old fashioned lights, and I was just like, you know what, screw it, I'm going to let him know. I'm just going to tell him. It's like I had to. So and he didn't laugh at me. He didn't put me down. He says, okay, I'll take that and I'll think about it. So that's the thing where other people would be like, oh, no, that's ridiculous, da da da. At least Tom was open minded about it.
And what Heather doesn't know is I have a fairly extensive fountain pen collection. So
And I didn't know that.
yeah,
Do you?
I like fountain pens.
And with his writing and
Interesting.
everything. So, but yeah.
You don't seem
Liz.
interesting.
I know. I'm
I can imagine you a collection of knuckles or I don't know knives or something like that.
No.
Nunchucks.
Nunchucks, yeah.
That was like 10.
But Tom, yes,
yeah.
Tom's an enigma on all his own. So,
I try to be.
but gentlemen,
Yeah, you
thank
need-
you again. We got to do this again. This was fun. And
Yeah, it's always fun.
And so we will. I hope everybody has a great Halloween, a Samhain if you're practicing Samhain. I do, recognize Samhain, my Celtic, Irish heritage, and I know Friday we have. Now I don't pronounce it properly, but can you Ramon properly pronounce the Day of the Dead in Spanish?
Dia de los Muertos.
See,
Dia de los Muertos.
Yes, and I have a beautiful
Day of the
Barbie
Dead.
doll I will share that day too. That I paid $300 for.
And you still have 18 minutes. You can go outside and beat somebody up with a sock full of flour for Mischief Night.
No,
Hmm.
yes. Mm-mm.
I don't know. All of a sudden, I got like the Purge vibes. You know that movie, The Purge?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Oh my
pretty accurate how it used to be for Mischief Night around when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Or
Purging,
Devil's Night,
like,
it's called for you guys.
purging with flowers.
Oh, that sounds like the day after Easter. We have the Polish community here. It's called Dingus Day, and the girls and the boys take the pussy willows and they go whip at each other. It's like a fertility rite that they allow to pass after
Interesting.
Easter with the Christians. So yeah, at least that's around here.
Hmm.
It's called Dingus Day. So, but that's not until Easter in March. So anyway, yes, Tom is great. You know that, Lindsay. Yes, and yes, Ange, thank you. Tomorrow night, readings on Ange's channel. Myself and Elizabeth, the more intuitive me, will be doing some Halloween reads. So drop on by, and if you didn't get a reading tonight and you would like one maybe tomorrow, come by and
There's
say
so many
hi.
people. There's so many people I haven't read with yet, like Ange or Karen. There's so many great
Really?
talents that that I still need to have the pleasure to interact with.
And at some point, Karen and I will be bringing back poetry. Her and I will be doing the Mystic Poet Society, or MAPS, as she likes to call it. And we will definitely be inviting Ramon
Ooh.
and I think Audra. You
Mhm.
said you were interested, and Tom. You're always welcome to join.
And
'cause
Tom,
Lisa put
do
wonderful
you write poetry?
Only
Tom,
in
do
her
you write
chat.
poetry
Only the chat.
with
for
all those with all those beautiful fountain pens that you have you pulled one to write a poem?
I don't write poetry with them. I should.
Okay.
I draw with them
Oh, you
every now
could.
and then,
Okay.
And
Yeah,
Ange
we
says,
want to hear
okay,
a poem of
Ramon,
yours.
sounds like your next live is with me, Tom, and Karen.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. I'd love to.
They'll be fab. So, alrighty, I'm shutting down. I gotta go eat my slice of cinnamon raisin bread, and I've been waiting for my toast. So, with my Irish butter. So,
Nice.
everybody, thank you again for joining us. Tom and Ramon, thank you. It was a pleasure, gentlemen.
it was fun.
And we will see everybody on one of our next shows. So, have a good night, y'all. Have a good Halloween. Be safe.
Night. Blessings to
Bye-bye.
all.
Yep.
Bye.